Welcome to another video from Gweilo 60. I'm in Bowen Park in Nanaimo on Vancouver Island, BC. Beautiful day outside today. It's not as sunny as it was yesterday, but that's not what this video is about. We've been back in Canada just over a week now, and we've been noticing how expensive it is. $2 a liter for gas. I miss China, where I can jump on a subway for about 40 or 50 cents and go downtown in a city of 8 million people in state-of-the-art brand new subway system. I miss getting on high-speed trains to go anywhere because it would cost next to nothing. And you would be traveling at 200-300 kilometers an hour. You'd be there quick. State-of-the-art everything from buses to airplanes to airports to subway systems to high-speed trains to high-speed train ports, airports, high-speed train ports, bus stations, high-speed train stations. Okay, whatever. But here they don't have any of that. When you get on a bus, it costs you $2.50 here in Nanaimo. One time. So what's that? 12.50 RMB? Way more expensive. If you want to go on that bus all day, you can get a day pass for $5. Okay, well that's not that bad. Better than buying a car, putting plates on a car, putting maintenance into the car. I know maintenance just lately. Putting gas at $2 a liter into the car. All of these things make it really expensive. But in Canada, because the public transportation system is so terrible that you need a car. Nanaimo is 21 kilometers long, and without a car, you're on a bus, and a bus comes by once every hour. Yeah, once an hour. So it's not every 5 minutes like it is in China. You know, they just don't have that public transit because they don't have the population to pay for it, I guess. It's the way it is. So we've noticed that here in Nanaimo. I miss the easy getting around that China has. Here, not so much. Groceries are way more expensive. For what you can buy for 5 RMB, it costs you 25 RMB if you're buying fruit or vegetables, anything like that. It's or $1 to $5. So it's like 5 times more expensive. So I've noticed that, and I blame the government. I see homeless people on the streets. I don't blame the homeless people. There's a lot of people that have jobs that can't afford to rent an apartment at $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 for a one-bedroom apartment in Nanaimo for 1 month. Plus you need a damage deposit and all of that stuff that goes along. You need furniture, and you know what I mean? So there's people that live in their cars and go to work. There's homeless people on the streets. Why are there homeless people on the streets? Well, as I say, I blame the government. Canada is the 3rd largest oil reserve in the world. Yet, and this is 2019 numbers that I'm going to give you here, we import 660,000 barrels. 660,000 barrels of oil per day. We export over 3 million barrels of oil per day. So why do we import? Because we don't have a pipeline from Western Canada to Eastern Canada. So Eastern Canada buys their oil from Russia, buys their oil from Saudi Arabia. Why is this? I don't know. Ask the Liberal government. They're the one that squashed all of the pipelines. They would rather spend their money on oil from Saudi Arabia and Russia than find homes for Canadian citizens. When the ideology of a government becomes more important than the citizens it's supposed to be protecting, then you have a problem with your government. I think that's what we're looking at here in Canada. In China, you see, over the last 20 years, they've brought 800 million people out of poverty. They're moving in a positive direction. In Canada, they're moving in a negative direction. They are going backwards. And I've seen it because we haven't been in Canada for about 2.5 years. And I've seen the difference. In 2.5 years, here, there's 3 times more homeless people in Nanaimo than there was when we left. Sure, a lot of it's their fault, drug abuse, but just, alcohol abuse, lazy. There's a lot of lazy people, but not all of it is blamed on laziness or drug abuse or alcohol abuse. A lot of it can be blamed, laid at the feet of the politicians, municipal, provincial, federal. And something's going to have to change, because people aren't going to be putting up with this any longer. Like, it's getting to the point where it's becoming a major problem here in Canada. 660,000 barrels at $150 a barrel, and that's probably what it's going to be here pretty quick. That's $100 million a day. $100 million a day. How many houses could you build for $100 million a day? Government doesn't care, obviously, or else that's exactly what they'd be doing. They're not working on behalf of the Canadian citizens anymore. They're working on behalf of their ideology, their parties, and people are actually voting these people in. Give your head a shake, guys. When you see homeless people, when you see housing at $830,000 for your normal house here in Canada, people can't afford that. Why is it so high? Well, inflation is high. Why is inflation so high? Carbon taxes. Well, we got to stop pollution. Well, it doesn't stop pollution. It just costs more to put gas in your vehicle, guys. Your fuel costs are through the roof. We got fuel all over. We got oil all over Canada. But yet we're paying way more than places where we export it to, like the United States. They pay less for their gas at the pump than we do here in Canada, and they're pumping Canadian gas into their tanks. Why? Because it's the Canadian way to hose the people. That's why they call us hosers. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. So you take that $100 million and you start building houses for people. You start educating people. You start putting people into drug rehab. You start all of these different things that the government could be doing with this money, rather than sending it to Russia and Saudi Arabia. But yet when you bring up China and Canada, the Canadian people will say, yes, but we have freedom here. We have the right of mobility. We have free speech. We have free this. We have free that. Well, if you have the right of mobility, you got to be able to exercise that right of mobility. You've got to be able to move from this place to that place. You got to be able to afford it. At this point, not every Canadian can afford it. Sure, the rich people get richer. I own a house here or a condo here in Nanaimo. It's tripled in price since I bought it in 2016. So 6 years, tripled in price. It's good for me. What about the person? What about the young person that's growing up here in Nanaimo and can't afford to live in the home city that that person's grown up in? You go to work and you get $15 an hour, say $20 an hour. You're not going to be able to afford to buy a home here on $20 an hour. That's just not going to happen. Even if you could put a down payment on it, daddy or mommy help, or you save for like 10 years, by that time the prices have even gone up higher. But say you do. Now you've got your mortgage payment, you've got your taxes, you've got your upkeep, you've got your, if it's a condominium, you've got your condo fees, you've got all of these things. So it's on something like an apartment, $300,000 for the cheapest apartment here in Nanaimo. When did it get like this? When did the Canadian government allow it to happen? It started in 2015 when the Liberals got it, I'll tell you that right now. Back in 2015 it wasn't like that. As I say, I bought in 2016 and my property has tripled. So when you see people that go to work but they can't afford to live in a home, when you see homeless people on the streets that have basically given up on life, given up drug abuse, alcohol abuse, something to escape reality, I guess, is what they do. When you've got working people, working families that can only rent, they can never afford to buy a house. When you have an economy where people can't afford to fill up their gas tank, and the single parents, single mothers, single fathers can't afford to buy nutritious food for their children anymore, where they used to 6-7 years ago, then it's a problem. And that's what I see in Canada right now. It's not like that in China. You have you go to the wet market and you have competition between all of the wet market stalls. Here you got Superstore, you got Walmart, you've got the big box stores, and they're not in competition with each other, I'm sure of it. They set the prices and that's the way it is because they want the profits. There is no competition on the food thing. There is no competition on the gassing. If Esso is $1.99 a liter, well then Superstore will be $1.99 a liter, and Shell will be $1.99 a liter. It's all set, guys. So without the competition, prices go up, people gouge, the rich get richer, the poor get poorer, people can't afford to feed their kids nutritional food, they can't afford to put them in proper homes, roof over their head. They can't afford a lot of things here in Canada. I see it, I see it, I see it. And hopefully you see it too. Anyway, that's my bitch rant for the day. Yeah, I'm back to my normal self. Oh man, what a beautiful place. So like Nanaimo, Vancouver Island is a spectacularly beautiful place. It's a little cold yet, but still nice. And the air is clean. Anyway, that's another video from Gweilo 60. If you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe, push that share button, don't forget to resubscribe, don't forget to hit the bell, and put a couple bucks in the Patreon account. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Bye now.